Hey, what's up, Megan? It's Julia, the ex-English major, and thank you so much for checking out my channel. Welcome to my very first video. For this video, I'm going to be doing the Book Newbie Tag. So I'll be going through a couple of questions, and we can just go ahead and get on started. So number one, why did you start this channel? Well, thank you for asking. I started this channel mostly as just a way for me to kind of recap the books that I'm reading, a little bit of a log for myself about just some of the things I read. I feel like every time I finish a book, I either want to bother my husband or my friends or my family about what book I'm reading. And so I figured I might as well keep a little log here for myself, just as a little bit of a reminder of things that I've read and why I like to read. The second question is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to BookTube? I feel like a lot of the things that I see on this app, and maybe that's just my own algorithms revealing itself, but I feel like there's a lot of kind of rant reviews or some negative reviews of some books. And so just one of the things that I like is I'm somebody who likes to read everything. And so sometimes it's nice to see a little bit of positivity and just reminders about what it is that we love about reading, right? If we are reading books, usually we like them. Sometimes it is fun to do a little bit of a hate read, but just something kind of light and positive and just a nice little recap. I have huge respect for anyone who writes a book, finishes it, releases it, puts something like that out into the world. And I know that it's a little bit scary to kind of put something like that out there and then see some of the negativity that it brings. I know that a lot of that is outside of an author's hands, but there is a reason why we are reading, why we like books, why stories kind of capture us, whether it's a classic or just kind of a little bit of something that my friend Maya used to call book candy, where you're just reading it just to have a quick story. So yeah, that's just some of the fun, unique things that I think I can bring in this cute little log that is mostly just for me, myself, and I, and anyone else who, like me, just wants to find a good book, something that they like, whatever the genre. The third one says, what are you most excited for about this new channel? Honestly, I'm just excited to kind of have some kind of nice little recap. I've never done anything like this. I don't know if you can tell, but this is kind of my first little setup. So I'm just excited to try something new. And if it flops, it flops, but it'll just be something kind of nice and fun for me to look back on. Number 4, why do you love reading? Well, I really like kind of escaping into another world. I personally will read anything. My favorites are kind of your stereotypical fantasy, science fiction, but I really will read just about anything. I just like kind of escaping into another person's shoes, whether it's another world or our own. And just kind of the fun and the whimsy with that. So yeah. What book series got you into reading? I've always been a bit of a reader. I am somebody who was the girl in class who, between assignments or when people were finishing up, I would always be reading my book. I was apparently, I do not remember this, but according to the lore, I was somebody who, even before I knew how to read, I would memorize the pictures in the picture books that my parents were always reading to me, and then would parrot back, essentially, the story and pretend that I was reading through that way. So memorizing the story from the pictures. So I have kind of always been reading. Some of the big ones that I was really, really into as a kid was the Magic Treehouse series. I also was really big into Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys. I remember I was always reading the A to Z Mystery series as well. Boxcar Children, Encyclopedia Brown. I'm seeing a theme here, a lot of mysteries, a lot of things like that. So definitely that was something I was reading. The series of Unfortunate Events definitely was a big one for me. I feel like I could not say which book or book series got me into reading. I pretty much have been reading since before I could read, and I haven't really stopped. When did you start reading? Well, I feel like I just answered that one. Have just kind of been reading since before I could read. As soon as I could listen to it and parrot it back, I would. Where do I read? I will read pretty much wherever. I definitely am somebody who, like when I was a kid, I used to be essentially reading anything I could get my hands on, whenever I could get my hands on it. Again, that is kind of where I'm at today. I have a 9-to-5 job working in IT. So whenever I am not working, one of the things that I love to do is read. Like with my channel name suggests, I used to be an English major in college. So I really miss kind of where my job used to be reading, right? Where your job as a student and your job is to read and write about it. I have left that part of my life behind. And so really just excited to have a place to come to where I can be reading. But no, currently I'm reading in my bed, on a couch, in the car when my husband's driving. I also every once in a while will pick up an audiobook. I'm not really a big audiobook girl, simply because I have a hard time, if I'm listening to it, getting actively engaged in the story. I'm a big fan of, audiobooks, oral history. I love those people who can do that and focus. I just find that when it's a book that I actually need to focus for, so not necessarily just a quick read, I have a hard time just listening to it. So in that reason, I prefer a physical copy. But I know that there's a big debate about if audiobooks are really reading. And in my opinion, yes, audiobooks are absolutely reading. The next question is, what kind of books do you like to read? I will read pretty much anything. My favorite are your stereotypical fantasy, sci-fi, romantasy, all of those kinds of things. I also really like fiction or magical realism, lit fic. I will read pretty much anything, except for it's really hard for me to get into nonfiction. I wish I was somebody who could read nonfiction, but for me, I like a little bit of whimsy. I like a little bit of magic, and I don't necessarily want to read about the real world necessarily. If somebody has the ability to create any sort of world, then why not give it magic? Why not give it time travel? Why not give it multiple dimensions? If you can create anything from scratch, then why wouldn't you? Not to say that there isn't something really important about nonfiction, but I think that one of the purposes of reading is to experience life as you may not have seen it. So it doesn't necessarily need to be about real things in order for you to take real things from it. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. Really appreciate your time here, Megan, and I hope to see you again really soon.